Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth plus 11 wins in a row. Daddy's back. That's a song I just made up. It's called Daddy's Back. What are the remaining lyrics? Daddy's back on the high horse. Is he a cool dad? Of course. I don't like starting with the D4. GWPPJE04. You know why I don't like starting with the D4? He's a god. It's because it preordains the Zane. And preordained Zane is not Zane. If it's predetermined, you lose out, I think. Okay, the rhymes are gonna stop now. You lose out a little bit, I think, on, you know, not knowing where the run is gonna go. Now, we have started, it was either the D4 or the D100 we started with relatively recently. Obviously this is horrendous. Hopefully we can get, like, some cash, at least. It's worth it if we don't get hit. Oh, that was close. Ooh, it's a D infinity. That's more interesting. So actually I'm gonna reroll right away. Now I completely forget what I said earlier. You know what, we have some amazingly positive stuff that happened for us. We started with Pyro on our D infinity run, which means that we're gonna have, well, an advantage in the number of bombs that we have. We're not necessarily gonna have 99 bombs for the remainder of the game, but you know what I mean. Secret room? Now I'm for it, because I'm a hypocrite. Try the shop. Looking for a battery charge. Did not get one. Champion belt definitely works. I hope we get to keep the damage bonus. I'm not sure, though. Okay, I'm gonna go fight the boss. The thing is, I do want to, if possible, be able to reroll. Don't you dare. Run. Ooh, that was dicey. If possible, I wanted to be able to reroll our notch stacks. We're not going to be able to reroll the notch stacks. It's fine. I mostly just want to know how much HP we have. We did not have very much HP. We should not have gone into that curse room on the last floor. It's a very delicate situation to put oneself in. But we have a lot of advantages. The big thing right now, we don't necessarily want or even need to push towards, you think we can hit that? I was just gonna say, I bet we can. I've been playing this game since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I know that vertexes mean nothing. Mostly I'm stoked that we have Pyro, but I am looking forward to re-rolling, maybe not every floor, but as often as the D4 is appropriately available, or the D100 for that matter, to try to put us in a tenable situation. The D Infinity is more interesting to start with because there is a little bit of, there's more strife, you know, because if you re-roll into a trash run, you might not, and this is not a great item, so I think it's a perfect time to grab it and then swap it. Lose damage, gain speed, gained money, gained stopwatch, relatively okay. Anything that gives us permanent bonuses, especially to consumables, is going to be something we'll like to see. So just getting the quarter is already good by itself, I think. We should take safety cap, I think, while we have a Verp pill. Just crush this guy. Hey! You get off of my cloud and all that. Yeah. Reroll all these. We're mostly looking for cash. So if we can make our shop worthwhile, it probably won't be just making our shop worthwhile for one floor, you know, it'll probably be making our shop worthwhile for quite some time, because we already have 38 cents. But it's a run that's it's never really going to feel so anchored. Oh, we still have to deal with the double chance, just be cool. The run's never going to feel completely anchored until we're able to get rid of the D Infinity, which we may or may not even do. So it's yet another Vert pill, which is kind of hilarious. I think we should try this. It's Balls of Steel. Now, like, this is, you can't ask for anything better than that, more or less.
Balls of Steel.
So our HP looks incredible now. Pandora's box, right now, it's consumables or spirit hearts. And honestly, don't mind the consumables at all here. We'll throw down some bombs to get a reroll. We probably have one more item in us somewhere. Ace of clubs is not horrible, but not particularly good either.
Ace
I think I will take the Nun's Habit and move on. Right now, everything's coming up Millhouse. We got a lot of good rolls. A lot of high rolls, like our name is Chic. One day I'm going to run out of Zelda characters. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know that many. There's Link, there's Zelda. I almost said King DDD, but what I meant was King Hyrule. You know, the other one. The other king with the beard. Don't tell me DDD doesn't have a beard, okay? He just shaves before he's in Smash Bros. It's a special occasion. I'm willing to go a little deep on this one. Not terrible. You know, if we're gonna do this, we should take Cambion Conception at least. Okay, that's definitely worth taking. I think I'm gonna take Void, but I'm not gonna suck up the D-Infinity because it could lead to some truly heinous situations. The Zane is already here. We don't need to, like, overdose on the Zane. The Zane exists as is. The whole run is gonna be re-rolled once or twice a floor on average, probably. We don't need to void the D-Infinity. Because, again, it's like, you know, a good metaphor that I'm coming up with literally off the top of my head feels like skydiving. Skydiving, what do you like about it? I don't know, but what I've heard is it's the thrill and the sensation of maybe you'll die, but you... Maybe you'll die, but you probably won't, and that's fun for whatever reason. But skydiving would be a lot less fun if, you know, you were in a 0G roll and you passed out because the, you know, cabin in the airplane wasn't depressurized. You know, you wouldn't enjoy it. That's what having the D-Infinity sucked up with Void is like. Every time you hit the spacebar, it's like going catatonic. You have no idea where your run's going and where it's been. We're in a controlled slide here, which is better for us. So we have Proptosis and Brimstone. Hopefully we can roll this combination for quite some time, because it's extremely great. What about our bombs? Just normal bombs? Normal bombs. I've never been skydiving. I probably never will go skydiving. I've said my piece on it many, many times. I don't like feeling like I'm going to die. And that's basically what that comes down to. Dude, did I tell this story? I don't think I did. When I was flying back from LA, maybe I did. I told it to Kate for sure, but you know, I record somewhere on the order of 1,400 videos a day, so anecdotes get twisted from time to time. You know, it's hard to keep it straight, what I've said and what I haven't said. I was sitting next to a young father and his maybe like 9-year-old son or something like that, and when I sat down, they'd boarded before I did. When I sat down next to them, I heard the kid say, "Dad, when you go to the bathroom, don't sit down and flush the toilet, because some lady sat down when she flushed the toilet and it sucked her guts out." And the dad was like, "That didn't never happen." The kid was like, "Dad, it did happen. It did." And I don't know what, in my head canon, I was like, the dad is afraid to fly and the kid's just egging him on. He was like, "Dad, don't buckle up your seatbelt super tight, because if the plane has to stop really suddenly on the runway, it could cut you in half." And Dad was like, that never happens." "Dad, it does happen. Dad, for real." That's the end of that anecdote, but I was like, man, that kid he's got a good career ahead of him as a YouTuber. He's already, that's like what I do to my co-host. He's kind of egging him on a little bit, trying to get a little bit of meat out of the interaction. I like it. And then, you know, when the snack cart came around, I said, "I'll take some pretzels and hummus." It was $3.75. I'm living that Coach microtransaction lifestyle, okay? Release of Afterbirth Plus has been very good to me. I'm at that pretzels and hummus tax bracket right now. Oh, we can definitely sacrifice. Dark Bum, Pentagram, both fantastic. Now let's re-roll them immediately. And the kid went, "Dad, can I have some pretzels?" And the dad said, "We got pretzels at home." And I was like, "I'm sorry, kid." I gave you that FOMO about the pretzels. I wish I could tell you the pretzels were not worth the $3.75. They were. And you know what? I respect it. When you order guacamole, I always feel like they don't give you enough guac. You know, I can go crazy on the guac. This time I said, can I have some pretzels and hummus? They gave me the pretzels and hummus. I am putting... Have you ever heard of my salsa tendencies? I can eat like a jar of salsa in half a bag of tortilla chips. I love salsa. It's like a dippable soup. I'm a huge fan. So I'm a big dipper. I'm Ursa Major. I was doing the same thing with the hummus. Sometimes I'll just eat hummus with a spoon. I've done it before. Don't test me, okay? All hummus is out there, beware. So I was using the pretzel like a fun dip, but in a way that made me think it was healthy, even though it wasn't. And by the time I finished the pretzels, there was still like half the hummus left. Now, I only had like my finger, so I'm not gonna be the animal that uses his finger to dig out the hummus on the airplane. You know, that's pretty disgusting. So, at home, I probably would have done it and then just washed my hands, but... Ooh, -0 damage. I can get down with that. But still, I thought it was an appropriate level of hummus. So, you know, good on you, Air Canada. If you're ever flying Air Canada, don't believe the lies. Do not pay like $11 for a pepperoni pizza. It's horrible. All they do is make it smell good. I've had it, okay? Because they trick you. If you're sitting in like row 45, they bring the cart through, and I think there is psychology involved in it. The cart smells like pepperoni pizza. And you go, oh, I'm in the airplane. I should treat myself. I'll get a pepperoni pizza. It's horrendous. It's like a microwaved English muffin pizza. It's no good, okay? Trust me. Get yourself the pretzels and hummus. Not quite the same. It's not going to fill you up as much. But it won't let you down as much either. There's my highly specific flying advice if you happen to be flying Air Canada. You ever get the idea that almost every airline in North America is bad? It's just a matter of what one you've had bad experiences with. My whipping boy is Delta Airlines. I know United kicked that poor doctor off the flight and beat him about his face and neck until he bled. But all of my experiences on United have been pretty okay. You know, it's been an airplane. Dude, by the way, I feel so vindicated today. I forgot to mention it. There was a thread on Reddit. It was the #2 thread on the front page when I saw it. It said, do you think airplanes or airlines should start offering child-free flights? Every single top comment was like, kids behave better on airplanes than entitled adults. And if you can't deal with like 5 to 10 minutes of a kid crying, just grow up, because life's gonna be real hard for you. I was like, these are my people. I did that exact bit less than a month ago. And I was under the impression that people were gonna be like, disagreeing with me. It turns out, actually like a highly popular opinion, and I'm more mainstream than I thought I was. I was so happy though, because I expected, you know, the Reddit demos a little bit younger male side, and when I'm still in that demo, I guess, but when I was on the younger side of it, I was like, yeah, they're mildly inconveniencing me. Now I'm like, these are my people somehow. I expected them to be... Of course I want child-free flight. In fact, the airplane should just fly me everywhere I want to go. So, you know what? Good on you, Reddit user base. You catch a lot of flack, but the thing is... There's some toxic subreddits, but there's some great ones as well. And everybody that chimed in on that thread to basically say, if you ever get annoyed by a crying baby, get over it. You're my people. I have... one exception. This week, Kate and I are taking a flight. It's like a 6-hour flight. It leaves at 11 p.m. Colloquially known as a red-eye, because you get a few hours of sleep in the air if you're lucky enough to be able to sleep during flights, which I can't. Just close your eyes, lol. then you arrive and you're kind of bleary-eyed. You get a couple cups of coffee, show up at the conference room, you're good to go. I'm an urban professional, so I know what it's like, okay? Don't think that I don't. The one time I have sympathy for you is if you're sleeping on one of those planes, which is already hard, because sometimes, you get on a plane and it's so quiet. You're like, oh my god, when did planes get like this? And then you get on the return leg and one of the engines is just going the whole time, so... I'll say something to assuage your flight anxiety a little bit, okay, if you have it. It's an airplane episode. When I was afraid of flying, every time I got on an airplane, there were two things I did. I listened and I smelled. Every time I listened, I heard something that I thought was a cause for concern. Oh, does that... Like, I almost want to call the flight attendant over. Legitimately. And be like, is that supposed to sound like that? At which point, I'm sure they'd be like, yes, sir, of course it's supposed to sound like... Okay, I just thought, knowing nothing about airplanes, I'd diagnose the problem just from sitting down. See, because I'm an expert somehow. And the other thing I would do is I would smell. And every time I would smell some kind of industrial lubricant and be like, oh my god, the engine's leaking something important. Excuse me, is it supposed to smell like that? Yes, sir. Oh, see, I know nothing about industrial lubricants or solvents or anything like that, but I just thought we were all gonna die, so that's why I brought you over. I don't know, in my head, I believe you can make up any kind of, like, plausible explanation for why you're the only person that can save the entire airplane. I'm like, these flight attendants, they're so jaded. They've gone nose blind, like that Febreze commercial. They can't even smell that there's jet fuel coming through the vents. Get out of your headphone cord. Having flown a couple of 100 times in my life, every plane smells a little different. Every plane sounds a little different. None of them have gone down, okay? I've flown a lot. I've had pretty bad turbulence. Turbulence that made me a little anxious. I've never had an emergency landing. I've never had a go-around. I've never had to brace myself for impact. I've never had the flight crew get on the headset and be like, breaker, we're going down. Use one of those weird phones, call your loved ones. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I expected that those would happen to me just about every time I've flown. Haven't even... Well, I don't know. Maybe we've come close. I guess I wouldn't know, right? Ignorance is bliss. But, never experienced any of that. So if you're worried about it... I mean, I know that nothing I say is going to help you, but... Maybe that'll give you a little cause for some kind of positivity. I know what it's like. It's my 2 cents. I'm way more nervous about being on, like, a bus now. And a train! Dude, those things are derailing like crazy. I thought it was the safest form of transit. It's an engine that goes on a track. Why are they derailing so often? And also, TJ Miller, why are you calling in all those threats, dude? I'm just trying to get the packs on time. Yeah, like, I would take the train. To get from Vancouver to Seattle is a 3-hour drive. It's like a 4-hour train trip, which makes no sense to me. And they only leave twice a day. They leave at 6 in the morning and 6 at night. Not very appropriate. If only... Like, I just don't understand. I don't work at VIA or the Canadian Pacific Railroad. I have no idea if that's when most of the people want to go to Seattle from Vancouver. They get on and they're like, oh, gotta be at work by 9. Better get on the 6 a.m. train. Or they're like, oh, I'll take the red eye across Interstate 5. I digress. This is a self-indulgent episode right now, I'll admit, okay? Don't want to see that. Don't want a Harlequin. Don't want a Pokeball. I want brimstone, baby. 'Cause I want to continue streak. We on... Dude, we are on the depths, too. And this run is rolling, but like I told you, we're never going to feel like we know where we're at. All I do is... Cool. All I do is, tough it out here. Tough it out with my incredibly high damage stat and ability to murder enemies, and then, the guppy transformation that literally can't be taken away, and so on and so forth. But we haven't found the wombo combo yet. Good run. No wombos, though. No wombus. Why not? I think we should actually go for it. Do that. Let's take the book for no reason whatsoever, now that I think about it, and then go back here and peep this. No? Well, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to reroll in a millisecond anyway, but I really like the pencil as an item. I don't... Well, I mean, I guess we do want to teleport out, now that I think about it. I want to get a reroll first, just to see if we have the greatest reroll of all time. I would say this is not the greatest... This is a great opportunity, though, for us to get as many rerolls as possible. And hopefully leave Boss Rush feeling like nothing could ever stop us ever again. Dude, that's an incredibly good roll. I actually think we must have Libra in order to get such a positive roll like that. No, that doesn't make sense. Because on that roll, we didn't get all stats down, so... We just got one stat down. Not by much, but... Oh, we have a host hat right now. It's quite positive for us. We're very much closing in on the point where we should probably just tough it out and finish Boss Rush, because we're almost there anyway. All I'm asking you is for, like, another D4 option. I just want to range up. The run's great. Don't get me wrong. I just... You know, if you could crank it a little bit, and then Superman that hoe as well, I would be forever in your debt, good sir. Okay, D100. I think that might be my least favorite genre of music. Is this is gonna be the least popular take I've ever had, and I'm okay with it. All right. So this is the Wombo combo, but it's so Wombo we can't even stick with it. It's too Wombus. It happens. It's so Wombus. It's a marsupial indigenous to Australia. What do we got going on now? This is marked with Deadeye. Great, but not quite Wombus enough. You know, we're in a Little Red Riding Hood situation here. This one's too Wombus. This one's not Wombus enough. One of my least favorite quote-unquote genres of music is hip-hop turned into a different genre. And then the reason I dislike it is not for the people that are making it. For real. If you run a bluegrass, you know, jug and spoon band and you want to cover gin and juice, by all means. The reason I hate it is because of the people who inevitably end up making it go viral. And they're like, well, I always thought hip-hop was a little... I don't like to live dangerously, so I don't listen to much hip-hop, but now that you've sanitized it for me, I'm all in. Turns out Gin and Juice is actually a very well-written song. Who would have thought? That's the reason. It's the same reason, and again, this catches me a lot of flack. I'm going to say it quietly because it's a controversial opinion, but I want you to point out it's an opinion, and I'm not judging you if you're on the other side of the spectrum here, okay? I really hate... Not hate. I almost never like a one man with a guitar acoustic covers of other genres of music, okay? There are exceptions, like, I mean, Hurt is kind of like, it's the quintessential exception, right? Like, Johnny Cash's Hurt is a fantastic song, made even better by the context with which it was produced. Most people prefer to the original. Bob Dylan's, Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower is kind of like a different situation. It's almost like it's gone electric, you know? Why not give it a shot? But... I think it's because I'm not uniquely poised to be offended by it, but, you know, I grew up, when I was in high school in my formative years, the most popular musicians in the world were John Mayer and Jack Johnson, who you cannot to this day convince me that that's two different individuals. And every single song was like, what if we made a rock song less cool? No offense. Because I know John Mayer can shred, okay? And if you're gonna insult me for insulting John Mayer, all of you know I've purchased more John Mayer albums than probably 99% of you, because my dad wanted a John Mayer album for Christmas one year before the music industry died, and I bought it for him because I'm a good son. I didn't go, oh Dad, here's a... You sure you don't want the new Wolf Parade, Dad? It's just whenever, especially when there's like, when it's rap music, I'm just like, you could just... like the rap song. But I am a hypocrite because, and hear me out here, I do not like T-Pain's music. his produced music, but oh man, this is gonna make myself sound as square as I've ever sounded. The Tiny Desk conference he did for NPR was so good, and T-Pain filtering his booze-soaked, debaucherous lyrics through the lens of like a quiet, contemplative lounge singer at a piano added an interesting layer of nuance, I think, to the music, that he's almost a self-hating Lothario instead of like, you know, pockets bigger than a Samoan. I'm on the stage every time shorty goes, and I'm like, yeah, shorty going, yeah, shorty going. She gon' make me spend some money on it. Oh, whole bank account, I blow it. You know, it's more like he's like a slave to the rhythm at that point. When he sings it on the single, you're like, he's bragging. He's being braggadocious. Go do the show then? Bring some dough in? I get it. You're wealthy. You're a successful individual. But when he sings it, you know, in that soulful style, it's like he has no choice but to go do the show than bring the dough in with his pockets bigger than a Samoan, which I don't even know. That might even be offensive for me to say, but I don't mean it like that. She's on stage every time shorty going. I'm like, yeah. Hit the flow then. Slow motion. I'm so gone on Patron. I don't know how I'm getting home later on. Again, very disrespectful. The song was written before the nascence of Uber, though, so... You know, it's he can be slightly forgiven, is all I'm trying to say in that. Yeah, I mean, you should have a plan for how to get home. Does that just happen? T-Pain goes to the bar and is like, whoops, I'm trashed. If only there was a mechanism for how to solve this problem. Like, for example, thinking for 30 seconds that if I go to the bar, I'm probably gonna end up so gone on Patron that I should have a plan for how to get home later on. But he didn't even know it. Didn't know it until they brought you to the stage. Anyway, this could go on forever. We do have sad bombs now. We should abuse and use the power here. I always end up, you know, people that I went to high school with. Never listen to rap music. Only listen to country music. Nothing wrong with that. They'll end on their Facebook. They'll link like some country band covering, you know, Kendrick Lamar, and they'll be like, I didn't know hip-hop could be so soulful. Like, come on. I think you're okay to like these pair. I mean, you're okay to like these pair. It's just one idiot, myself, judging you in this case, right? Like, you're totally free to like whatever you like. And I'm totally free to criticize it as well. I don't know. I oftentimes feel like... I don't get a bad rap. I have like the easiest life on planet Earth for the most part, but you know, sometimes I criticize or something. I go, I don't really like this, and then people go, wow, could you just shut your mouth and let people enjoy things? You're free to enjoy it. I just don't like it. I'm not picketing the release of the new Transformers movie in theaters. I'm not going, if you show this, I'm gonna boycott you. You know, I don't care. I just don't like it. I worry that, well, worry is a very strong word for what I'm about to say, but if we shut down all criticism of anything as being, you know, cynical or truculent, it leads to a situation where you just end up creating these... I don't like the word, okay, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You end up creating sort of a hug box. And I think that the existence of actual hug boxes is like 1/1,000,000th of what the, you know, the word gets bandied about on the internet. But it does happen. And I think it happens to a lot of streamers. You know, you create and everybody's entitled to run their channel differently. As I will say every single time I go into Soapbox, you know. I'm just a dude who's been in the industry for a while. I don't have the answers more than anybody else. I don't know what everybody else is going through when they make these decisions, but, you know, there's a lot of streams that are like, if you ever give me advice even in a friendly fashion on how to play the game, I'm going to ban you. And I do think that for me personally, that's kind of it's a dangerous position to be in. You know, I think it creates an environment where even helpful criticism comes across as being relatively antagonistic just as a result of building an environment in which you're in an insulated bubble and you never get criticized. A lot of streamers get way too much flack, and that's not good either. But I don't know, I think there's a happy medium. Well-meaning criticism and help, I am always down for. We don't need to play that, let's be real. It's only true jerkery that I get upset by. And I don't even really get upset by it. I just go, hey, look at this jerk. Like, feel free to tell me you don't like something. Sometimes people will say, you know, no offense, but I don't like this series. I'm like, dude, we're bros now. You know how many things I don't like? Dozens of things. You can like me and not like some of my content. It doesn't bother me in the least. I would never want you to, you know, you got one life to live on planet Earth. I would never want you to feel like, oh, as my chore today, I gotta watch this Northernlion series I don't enjoy because I support him and I want him to be able to do this for as long as possible. Nah, dude. Go out, get some sun, learn a skill, eat an insect, you know, live your life. It's only when people start their comments with, like, hey, moron. Then I go, well, you're muted. I love the mute function. It's so cruel. It's like a Black Mirror episode. To just have them scream into the void. It's also necessary. I used to feel bad about doing it, because I'm like, they're probably well-meaning. And they just don't know how to talk to people. Now I'm like, screw. I like put my deal with it sunglasses on every single time, and I always. It's a bad habit, but I love it. With like most bad habits, I guess, you know. I stalk like the Twitter feed of somebody who's mean to me. I don't like stalk it for days. What I do is I will, you know, go look at it. And I'll look at like their past 10 tweets, you know. And if like 7 of the past 10 tweets are toxic, or only retweet things that are like, retweet this to win a video card, I'm like, you're done. I'm sorry. They don't even have to be nice to me, but if they tweet other people and go, hey, I had a great time watching Critical Role, I'm like, you know what? This person's got the capacity for enjoyment and good rapport in them. I have the intestinal fortitude to, you know, stomach a couple of negative comments as they go on their journey to realizing what it takes to be a responsible adult when it comes to, you know, interfacing with other people. Otherwise, though, I got a pretty thin fuse for it. And I'm just being honest with you. And some of the people hear this and they go, did you mute me? If you're the kind of person that would ask if you're muted, you're probably not muted. That's the way I see it. If you're the kind of person to go, mute me, what about the Second Amendment? You might be muted at that point, but even then, it's probably like 90% you're good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.